Swazula, you unrefrigerated egg salads on a sunny day. How the hell are you doing? So let's talk about Apex Legends, shall we? Just a little bit. I'm sure you've heard, if you're new to Apex Legends or whenever it is you started or you're considering starting and you've been doing some research or whatever, you've probably heard a couple of things about which is the best legend for you to play. Maybe that's a topic that interests you. I know that it interested me when I first started playing the game, and the information that I heard was probably the same thing that you heard, that Wraith is the best there is that you can ever play. Well, guess what? It's not Wraith. Wraith is actually pretty bad for new players, and we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so you just started playing Apex Legends not long ago, and you have your options between a couple of the legends. Regardless of what I'm going to say in this video, I highly encourage all of you to try all of the legends. Variety is key to having fun for a longer time in most video games, if they even offer that variety. I think that Apex Legends does, because we've got quite a few legends out there that you can play right off the bat and acquire some more later on. But to get this here started, let's go ahead and start at the bottom. Here are my top 3 actually best legends for new players. I measure how much these guys are good based off of simply how intuitive they are or how helpful they are for your newer player. So without further ado, let's get into number 3 on this placement, which is going to have to be Valkyrie. Now, I know Valkyrie might be a little bit unfair, because if you just started playing Apex Legends, then Valkyrie won't be available to you. You're going to have to farm her, but you could consider her seriously as your second legend or your first legend to unlock, perhaps. Honestly, I would just say go ahead and get the Champions Pack. It's the best out of them all, but whatever. Valkyrie is for the simple fact that you can do a lot of these trick moves or tricky moves that all the pro players do when they do their strafe hopping and their wall hopping and their super far jumping and all this crazy shit, right? As a new player, you haven't figured that shit out yet. You don't know how to do any of that stuff. You'd like to, and you'd probably be a much better player if you could, but you don't know how to do any of that yet. You're just looking at these guys in awe like, God damn, I'm gonna go practice at the shooting range for 15 hours. Oh, look at me, now I can finally bunny hop. Totally wasn't like that for me. What? That's crazy talk. I downloaded the game and played for 5 minutes. I was a master instantly. Easy peasy. Of course. Don't worry about my kill death ratio. That's it's fake news. That's what it is. But no, anyways, Valkyrie is a really good legend, simply because she makes all of these very handy movements that you can find other pro players do with some finger trickery, just simply really easy. You basically just double jump into the direction you're running, or dodge. You can use it as a dodge jump. That's how I love to use it. If somebody's trying to drop a bomb on you, Gibby or Bangalore or another Valkyrie, for example, they're trying to drop their bombs on you, shit, just walk backwards and double jump back, and you'll do a very generous hop back and completely evade the entire bombardment. Like, they can't even touch you. It's insane. It's crazy. The mobility that you have with Valkyrie is nuts. And yes, I'm aware that there is a small, well, actually a huge nerf coming to her, but if you're a new player, you're not going to be abusing her anyways, so this doesn't matter to you all that much. Bloodhound. Bloodhound is my boo. I love Bloodhound. When I first played Bloodhound, I thought, well, okay, I think I might like this dude or gal a little wee bit. I'm not sure yet though. And then after testing out a bunch of other ones, I kept falling back on Bloodhound the more I understood their abilities. Now, why is Bloodhound so valuable for a newer player? Well, here's the thing. If you start playing Apex Legends for the first time, you'll notice the same things you struggle with like with any other game. Like, you don't know the maps, you don't know where you can drop, you don't know where shit is, you're unfamiliar with anything, you're probably not familiar with the weapon system, the attachment system, etc, etc. Of course, if you're someone who's played many battle royales before, then a lot of the systems that you'll find in Apex, being also, well, a battle royale, are going to look extremely familiar to you. But generally speaking, if you're brand spanking new to Apex Legends, especially if it is your first BR, then information is a very, very powerful tool for you, and Bloodhound will give you that information. Bloodhound you can use to scan your imminent environment at a very generous range, locating where the enemies are and displaying them for you through all the walls for a couple of seconds, giving you enough time to kind of figure out what are they planning. Are they moving away? Are they about to attack? If I want to attack, where are they located? This is super valuable information to have as a new player, right? It helped me a whole bunch, but it goes further than that. Bloodhound's passive ability also is that you can track enemies, and not just track them as to knowing which way they escaped or where they just moved, but you can also see information such as what were they doing? Were they crouching? Were they hopping? Were they moving fast? Were they moving slowly? Were they reloading? Were they healing? Are they hurt? Are they not hurt? Which can really help you gauge whether or not you are walking into a dangerous situation with 3 full squad mates, or maybe just 1, and if the guy is hurt, then you can probably take him. It'll give you some idea as to how much time you have before somebody else might show up, yada yada yada. You can use this in so many different ways. We could make a whole separate video on how to read the tracks as Bloodhound. And ultimately, you have, well, your ultimate ability. Your ultimate ability is basically your Bankai mode, where you go into Predator mode, where you have faster movement speed, which is always useful. As a new player, you can use this in a number of ways. The most obvious and most intuitive, maybe for the newest of noobs, is running away from things. If you run faster than everybody else, then you're probably going to manage to outrun them. Also, if you're moving faster, you're going to be more difficult to hit, which is a very nice little perk to have as a new player, because getting hit will kind of get you killed, you know? You'll also see everything in black and white, which means every enemy that you find in the environment will be glowing red. So you can literally locate everybody in Predator mode and nobody can touch you. Well, I mean, they can touch you, but you can very, very easily either avoid them or locate them, or what I like to do is snipe them from a distance. The other way you could use the fourth ability, or, well, not the fourth, the ultimate ability, is to outrun a closing ring, for example, if you need to. Or, of course, if you feel a little bit more cocky later on in the game, then you can also use it to charge and rush in, etc. So Bloodhound is absolutely phenomenal for new players, because Bloodhound provides a lot of info for newer players that are invaluable and takes some of the stress off of figuring other things out on top of everything else. That's what I'm trying to say. So there's that. Now let's move on to the final legend on this list. But before we get to the #1 pick of the best possible legend to play, probably, for new players, here's a little word from our sponsor. Me! Bamboozled. All right, why am I here? Why am I sponsoring my own damn video? Well, because I got smexy merch. Smexy merch that you might want to go ahead and grab yourself a wee bit. Maybe you want to support your favorite streamers and YouTubers and content creators and artists and musicians and everything else that is out there. But what if you don't have 20 bucks for some merch? What if you don't have $5 for a Twitch subscription? What if you don't have Amazon Prime and you don't know how, or you simply can't, or because you just don't have it, can't link it with Twitch to get your free monthly subscription every month? What then? Well, that's where Patreon comes in. You see, Patreon is mega fair. They take a minuscule cut for themselves. With Twitch subs, for example, it's 50-50. So half of your money goes to Twitch. The other half goes into your streamer's pocket. But that's half of your money gone. Patreon, nothing, not even close, right? So Patreon takes a very, very, very small cut. I think it's 8% or maybe 12 now. I'm not sure, but it's very, very low. The rest goes straight into your content creator's pocket. Now, in my particular case with Patreon, you have it as simple as it gets. There are no tiers. It starts at $1 because I can't make it any lower than that, and anything beyond that is up to you. You could do $1.20, $1.50, $2.50, tree. You could do whatever you want. You could cancel it after 1 month. You can let it run for a year. You can do whatever you want. There is no grace period in waiting for how long you want to let it run. Couple clicks and it's over. Done. Period. No more money being taken out of your account. So it's super, super fair. It is the best. It is by far the most optimal, cheapest and fairest way for anybody to support their favorite content creators. So if you have somebody that you really like and you enjoy their videos or whatever they do, find out if they have Patreon. In my case, I do this shit here full time, and I don't get paid big bucks because I don't have hundreds of millions of viewers. That's just how it works, right? So every single dollar that you guys decide to pledge in my direction is phenomenal. I don't have words to tell you how much it's appreciated. It helps the ever-living fuck out of me. So if you want to see this channel keep on going, if you want to see me continue streaming, and you're just like, you know what, this dude's kind of neat, then go ahead and consider becoming a patron for $1 lousy a month, and you might even get a couple of extra perks over there too. Like, for example, oh, I don't know, cooking with Jizo and me in an apron or some shit. What? All right. Now go away. I've got shit to do. Bangalore is without a doubt, in my mind, the best legend for newer players. If you play her for the first time, for your first game ever, you probably won't really see or quite realize it yet, but to be honest, you'll probably have the same feeling with all of the legends, regardless of which one you play first. After getting the feel for most of them, I've noticed that Bangalore is always extremely reliable. You have 2 charges of smokescreen that you can drop. You can use this in so many different ways, and it's so intuitive. Like, you don't need to practice anything. You don't need to somehow use it cleverly or get really good at using the smoke screen. Like, for example, with Wattson fences, you can't just start playing Wattson and be a master. That's not how it works. You have to get tricky with her, right? And sweaty as hell, too. Well, Bangalore, not so much. It's just very intuitive. You want the enemies not to see shit, you pop a smoke either on them or on yourselves so that the team can either escape or provide cover for revives or whatever, or you pop a smoke between yourself and the enemies just to stop line of sight and so that nobody's shooting anybody, which will also result in you taking a breather. It's really good for causing enemies to panic, causing them to smoke them out literally out of a building if they get that scared, which usually will be the case if they're newer. If they're older, they'll probably just camp in there. In any case, you can minimize risk with this, and you have 2 full charges for it, and it's very broad. It's super helpful for newer players. It's unbelievable. It works every time. The only thing that you need to practice as a new player is placement. When and where to pop the smoke. Good idea to pop it a little bit later, maybe when you actually start taking some damage or when a teammate is down or whatever, but you can use this very intuitively in a number of ways. It's phenomenal. And then, of course, you have your ultimate ability for Bangalore, which is, well, Carpet Bomb. I mean, who needs a guide on a carpet bomb? Let's be honest. There's some a-holes on the ground or behind cover. They're pissing you off. Bomb the shit out of them. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right? So you don't really need any explanation for that. The bombs will slow down enemies. If they can't really escape and they get hit by the majority of the bombs, they'll probably even die. The damage isn't all that amazing, but the utility is beautiful because you will flush enemies out of wherever it is they're hiding behind. And if they don't, and they do get hit, then they're going to be slowed and a much easier target for you. So that's just a win-win situation, I'd say, for you. And then, of course, you have her passive ability. Now, Bangalore's passive ability might not seem all that special, but it really is pretty good. See, if Bangalore gets shot at, you don't have to get hit from what I've observed. You just need to be shot at. You get a bonus in speed. You get so fast that you're going to be a much harder target to hit. That means that if you're on the run and you're trying to find cover, you'll get there sooner. That also means that if you're getting shot at from behind cover, you could abuse that ability to get a head start in running away and then maybe popping a smoke back to the location that you just ran from, etc, etc. All of these abilities work really well together, and they're all super intuitive, and even if you don't master them and use them in a super sweaty way, you can still use them in a very useful way simply by, well, casting them. You don't need to be a master in understanding how abilities work. You don't need any of that shit. You truly don't. You just the fact that you're using it alone is beneficial not only to you, but also to your entire squad. For example, if there's a Bloodhound on your squad and you pop that smoke, the first thing that Bloodhound should do 2 seconds later is pop their scanning ability. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying Bangalore is incredibly simple to understand and useful. Even if you suck as a player, she can be useful and benefit not just you, but your entire squad. And the fact that she is so intuitive and does not require any guides in learning how to play her, it just makes her that much easier to pick up, especially as a new player. So there you go. There's my video on the actually top 3, in my opinion, best legends to start playing as a new newer player, get used to these guys, one of these guys first, and then you can go ahead and start trying to master the other ones. It is not Wraith. Wraith is a horrible legend for new players. Hell, Wraith is a horrible legend for decent players. If you're a pro, she's for you. But if you're a regular, normal ass player like myself and the vast majority of players in Apex, fuck Wraith. Alright guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, stay healthy and safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this shitty channel before you go, and fuck off.